Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, what I said late last year has come to pass. Thousands of lab-created monster mosquitoes are about to be released this week in the Miami, Florida area. No joke. Now, the interesting thing about these mosquitoes is they're supposed to combat the Zika virus, but the question has to be asked, is that exactly what they're doing? Well, before I get into that report, I want to tell you about Trade Genius Academy, my sponsor. As you know, YouTube demonetizes things all the time. So this is one reason we partner with organizations like that. But make sure you check out TradeGeniusAcademy.com. He's got a special that ends today. You're saving thousands of dollars over the long run, but his winter deals are only going to last until today. So if you want to learn about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and how to beat the system, check out Trade Genius Academy. All right, back to the report. So let me show you or take you straight to the source here on foxnews.com. This report is titled Lab-Bred Mosquitoes to Fly Near Miami to Help Combat the Zika Virus. Now, this report gets into the fact that thousands of them are going to be released all across the Florida area. But I want to focus on this next report. This is from the Daily Mail, and it's headlined, Lab-Bred Mosquitoes Infected with Bacteria That Cause Females to Lay Dead Eggs Set to be Released by the Thousands in South Miami this week. Now, the sublines read, Mosquito mate and collaborators releasing infected mosquitoes in South Miami. The bugs are infected with a certain bacteria which makes them sterile. The experts say that this approach, unlike other approaches, do not use genetic engineering. When they mate with wild populations, the bugs will produce eggs that cannot hatch. Now, the report goes on to state that the plan is designed to reduce the mosquito population without using any kind of genetic modification to do that. And now, when the males are infected with this bacteria and they mate with the female population, the result is that the eggs will die even before they are able to hatch. Now, it further details how exactly this happens because they're actually releasing a ton of the male species. But how does it work? The so-called good bugs are infected with naturally occurring bacteria to target the invasive particular type of mosquito. This species is known to carry an array of potential deadly diseases such as Zika and the others listed there. When released to mate with wild population, these sterile mates and wild females will not be able to successfully breed. Instead, the bad bugs that mate with the good ones will produce eggs that cannot hatch. That means each generation of mosquitoes will get smaller and smaller before they are, quote, practically gone. Now, that's interesting. Now, here's something to think about. While this does target a certain species of mosquitoes, no one knows for certain that they're going to stick with that particular mosquito. But either way, the end result here is that they're practically gone. Well, then the question has to be asked, what are mosquitoes good for? Why even have them on Earth? Are they just nothing but a nuisance? Well, as it turns out, they don't do a whole lot. However, they do provide food for our birds, for our insects, for our fish. So they are a huge source of protein and food, if you will, for other animals that exist in our ecosystem. So if we were to decrease the mosquito population, then we can also assume that the birds, the insects, as well as the fish can also be decreased. So something to think about when we're messing with certain things in nature, nobody really knows which way that's going to crumble. And while it does attack things such as Zika virus, which, you know, if I'm going to be honest with you, it's not the most deadliest virus on planet Earth. Ebola's pretty bad, but either way, here we have monster lab-created species being let go. Now, I've done multiple reports where I've actually shown that it's not just, ungenetically modified mosquitoes that they're playing with. They have also genetically modified mosquitoes that cause sterilants. This is something that they have created at a lab in Georgia. I've showed this on a few of my reports. If you've seen the prior ones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But not just in Georgia, we have divisions all across the world. And America is not the only one creating these GMO or genetically modified species. And it's not only mosquitoes, but it's also bats and other insects. And obviously we know that they play with higher species such as your monkeys and gorillas. Now this happens all across the country. So while we in America do experiment with that, we can't control what some of the other countries are doing with that. But we just need to have a heads up, because when you're messing with things in nature, then that could have some pretty serious repercussions. All that to say, here's your heads up, Miami. Prepare for the monster invasion of mosquitoes to hopefully wipe out other mosquitoes, so the spread of viruses like Zika and the like go down. But hopefully it doesn't wipe them out altogether. As they say, it could shrink the population over time. So just, you know, good and bad to every side of everything. But either way, as a journalist, I wanted to bring it to you first and foremost. Anyhow, if you like what you heard, subscribe to the channel, share it on all your social media outlets, because the mainstream media definitely won't tell you that. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.